1 Million Cups, Virginia Beach. How's everybody today?
Good morning.
All right. Hey.
We're here in our places.
Who's here for the first time? All right. We're sponsored by the Kauffman Foundation out of Kansas City, Missouri, run by a group of organizers, Murat and Ray White and David Brittany and Julian, who sometimes you might have, well, he's usually here. But anyways, we're excited to be here, and we offer an opportunity for entrepreneurs to practice their pitch or to come back and tell us what's happened since they did their first pitch, like our fabulous speaker today. So first I'd like to always ask if we have any announcements for things coming up this week.
We got the one on the floor.
Yeah, the first look challenge.
Well, yeah, I was going to do me last. All right, everybody is invited to be a judge for the First Look Challenge, which is at Old Dominion University, and it's going to be in the, it's usually in the Web Center. This time it's in the TED Constance Center. And if you're not on the list already, see me after. I'll get your email and send you this packet. But what is the First Look Challenge? It's an opportunity for freshmen, actually freshmen. These are freshmen. All right, remind you. So those of you who are new to this thing are going to come and evaluate these business ideas that the students have put together. What we do at Old Dominion is we put students through this initial class in the business department where they kind of get a taste of what business is all about, to see if that's going to be for them before they commit to that as a major. And so it's really a good opportunity for that the students put together kind of a business idea and they pitch it. And we have judges that rate the different businesses. There's going to be like 80 different groups of businesses, something like that, give or take, at this event. So we need lots of judges, and it's sponsored by Wells Fargo, who gives cash prizes to students for the winners. So $100, $300, and $500, of course, the first place team. So it's a really cool event. We serve dinner for you guys. Starts at 5:30.
Food's involved?
Food, yes, food, and a lot of great people, because the people who volunteer to participate are folks just like you guys. So you meet other people in the community that are doers and thinkers and business people and entrepreneurs. So so it's Monday night, next Monday, the 4th. 5:30, TED Constance Center, Old Dominion University. I'm Karen Eagle, and I'll see you after class. I teach at ODU. It's the last couple of weeks of school, so we're finishing up there. Anyways, I'll see you after if you're not on my list, and you can come and judge these students. It's pretty an energetic crowd. So, and next week we're hopefully going to be able to evaluate here at 1 Million Cups. Instead of having a presenter, we should be able to evaluate some business plans from my senior class. So they're all putting, it's a class of students that are all online, and they put together 5-minute pitches, and we're going to see if they pass muster. So they've been working hard all semester. I've been bringing them through the ringer, and we'll see who's ready for prime time. So one more thing.
2 things. Steve Whitell, a alum that's presented here a couple times, just got published. He got picked up by an Italian publication. It's written about his. Well, he won at 757, but it's again, hats off to 1 Million Cups on helping him get there and now getting international attention with his product. And don't forget, the deadline for the next 757 pitch in January is December the 27th. And so people that are interested in getting out there and pitching, our winners are going on and doing some amazing stuff. Steve is one of the winners and being recognized and getting funding. Last but not least, anyone that knows any government contractors to be defined, and you have either a client base of 51% government or you're 51% of government contractors that are interested in diversifying, getting into commercial markets, they have an idea, come talk to us, because we still have funds to help those companies until June of next year. I need to allocate those funds to help you. And I'm not going to pay salaries, but what we do is actually come talk to me. If you know anybody, refer them to us so we can get that allocated.
Next Thursday, the Innovation Center is having Kevin O'Connor from O'Connor Brewing give a growing pains talk about growing a business from 1 to 2. I don't know if he's bringing a drink, but that would be very nice.
Where
So,
is it gonna be?
the Innovation Center, OD Innovation
Oh,
Center.
with Chris Shelton's
Mhm.
place. Great, great, super.
Yeah.
All right.
That's all I know.
Okay, well, that's going on, and we're gonna give the floor to Kevin Neff. He's gonna talk about 757, wait, Kickin' It in the 757.
We're kicking it in the 757.
pitch on the brain. We're gonna kick it in the 757. So come and tell us what
Sure.
you've got. We give 6 minutes. I'll give you the 1 minute warning.
Sure. Morning, guys. Actually, about a year ago, I was here when this was just an idea, actually a selfish idea, because I wish somebody else had done what we now have done, and we really had no idea what we have done. We've exploded. Basically, I'll just give you just a quick run through of what this is. I know we have a very short time, and I guess if there's questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. I own Kevin Makes Sense Media, which is a media production firm here in Virginia Beach. This was just something that I've lived a lot of places. I was a military brat, and I was always amazed at people that would complain about living here, and I found that either they haven't been anywhere else, or they weren't getting out and exploring and experience what we have here already. I think personally, from a guy that's lived a lot of places, it's a phenomenal area, but I've also never seen an area where people do not leave their zip code. Like, it is mind-boggling to me. So, if any of you those fit in that category, I think I might be a blessing in disguise for you today. Kickin' It 757 is your resource for what to go and places, or things to know and places to go for dining, entertainment, and lifestyle. It is 100% video based. There is no commercials, no selling. It is basically video quality, the level of what you can see on Discovery Channel, the Food Network. Because of that work, I'm very fortunate to say that within the last, I think, 6 months, we won 2 international awards for our work. So we're getting a lot of attention for it. Basically, you can go on this site, and you can do anything from go and look at destinations. If you don't want to watch full shows, and I am the host because we don't have money for real hosts. So I just want to say I get a lot of compliments, but that's the reality of it. So if you want to search by city, and depending on dining, entertainment, lifestyle, you can do that. We have a very nice density south side. We're desperately trying to embrace the peninsula. I'm working on a big project with a restaurant group right now over there. Part of that group is the guy bringing back Boathouse Live over in the old Toby Keith's, which that's going to be an unbelievable music venue. And they just opened yesterday, I think. First concert December 1st. So if you want to see places to go and things to know about it, what I found is that the reason we don't go to new places, we fear the unknown, and we have too many unanswered questions. That was my personal experience with a place called Blue Seafood, which has got rave reviews. I've never been to the place, and I can throw a stone to it. And on 3 different occasions I started, but for whatever reason, I talked myself out of it. It was the apple falling out of the tree and discovering gravity, I guess. I was like, I didn't know enough. The website didn't tell me enough, and I thought, well, if we could take their story and bring it to life, and engage people and make an emotional connection, maybe more people would be at least give the thought of going to try someplace new. And it worked. So you can go ahead and experience places that way. You can see full shows here if you like. To give you an idea, as my co-producer in this, who is a 20-year veteran in television, broadcast TV, Mike has won Emmys and things. For us to be generating revenue and be getting TV viewing ratings in the first year is unheard of, and we're doing both. Even Channel 3, who were with their sister station, the CW, which I picked specifically, it's the hottest station, the hottest network for millennials. So that was very thought out. They don't even know how we're doing it. But they were so impressed with us that now Coast Live, their, I guess, kind of alternative to the Hampton Roads show they've started, which is actually very well done. They've now partnered with us, and every other Friday they are showing a version of our 5-Minute Chef. Our 5-Minute Chef is basically this. I just keep it real. We needed content. And I was like, well, I'm a bachelor and, have to do my own cooking. What if I could have a chef show me to make something from stuff I can buy from the grocery store in 5 minutes? That's how the 5-Minute Chef came out, and it blew up. And for anybody that likes to cook or would like maybe do things on a budget, please check this out. We put the full recipes here, but we have chefs like Joseph Miljardino, Andrea DiCarlo from Labella in Ghent, We've got Alvin Williams, who I just didn't even realize what a rock star Alvin is, from Cobalt. And now Coast Live has picked these up. They want it to be part of every Friday. We just can't get content quick enough. It's kind of like growing pains. I can relate to that. So that's basically just kind of an overview. I didn't want to take a lot of the time, but you all, I have some things you can take with you if you'd like to check it out. It's obviously mobile friendly. The biggest thing is this: if you have lived here, get out and experience what's here. This is an unbelievable area, probably the best I've ever lived in as far as things to go, and places to know and things to go, I guess. But just, I find that nobody leaves their couch. And we want to give people a reason to get off their butt, get off their couch, but get out their zip code. And hopefully you'll find this to be a resource. But because it's limited time, if you'd like to ask me any questions. And if not, that's fine too. Yeah.
You mentioned you're getting a ton of views on these things you're putting out there. How many views are you getting, and how are you making money?
Well, how we get money is this, and we're very transparent. We're doing something, that's a great question, it's never been done. We knew with video in this market, to be in video production in this area isn't that great because the amount of work, it's why you see the same people you see like on television. I do the Taylor's Doing commercials. A lot of people don't know that, that's actually me. They are few and far between. That's why you see A1 American or Priority, a lot of car dealerships. The average small business owner either can't or doesn't think they can afford video. We live in a video first world. If you're not embracing video, I got news for you. You're gonna die on the vine. It's not me trying to sell you, it's just a fact. I know what it did for my own career. The problem is the cost. So we said, we gotta get cost out of it. So what we did is, we came in at a very aggressive price point. Right now, we're at $29.95, just under $3,000 for a feature-length Discovery Channel Food Network quality, Emmy Award-winning co-producer, that we guarantee will be 3 to 5 minutes, that we give them license-free. I don't care what you do with it. No one does that. But then we say, after we give your piece, and by the way, we say 3 to 5 minutes because we want them to feel comfortable with what they're going to get. We've never done one that short. iFly was 13 minutes. It was so well done and paced, he thought it was 5. The key is, if you make a compelling story and keep someone's interest, it doesn't matter how long it is. You have to keep their interest. So once we give that to you license free, anybody else would be like, good luck. We don't. We then in turn promote you and your business, your establishment, absolutely free. Via our website, via our social media, and via the television show, which is done great. We're very fortunate. To that point, viewers. If you know anything about TV ratings or whatnot, if you don't really draw enough, you just get what's called a hash mark. I will be completely honest with you, I expected nothing but hash marks. We have no budget. We have no paid advertising for this. We're getting ratings, and we're getting anywhere from 5, I think, to 10,000 homes a month, or every Sunday, because we're on every Sunday. Between a 0.2 to a 0.6, it varies. Our newer episodes get more, obviously. Our analytics to the website right now, 34% are 25 to 34-year-olds. That's the sweet spot. Our second highest demographic, I believe, is 18 to 25, and then the rest is over that. So we tapped into something that we knew because it's video-based. The great thing for the businesses is they're getting promotion. We've become so popular that we've turned our events, when we shoot there, we've turned into what we call a Kickin' Night out. Once again, I just made this stuff up on the spot. It was I won't name the restaurant, but they were struggling. The woman called me, if you can believe this, at 11:30 at night in tears. 1, she couldn't believe I answered the phone. 2, I couldn't believe I talked to her till 2 in the morning. But she was desperate to save the restaurant. She had seen us. Can you help us? I went there a week in advance. It was like Greek Vegas at the Strip. I couldn't believe it. Fire breathing and belly dancing and food and people dancing, Greek dancing, and I was like, we got to do something. So what I did was I told a bunch of friends, I made up, let's have a Kickin' Night out, let's get the place full, and it's good because then we're showing people there and everything. And we packed it out, and then it became a thing. So every time we do a shoot, in addition to everything else we're doing, these businesses are getting us promoting for at least one evening. We just did an event at Brick Anchor Brew House in Norfolk on Granby, which is a phenomenal place, especially if you're a beer drinker. We did a red carpet premiere because we were spoofing ourselves. We were like coming fedora, flip-flops, we don't care. We were shocked. We packed the place, and all but 2 people came from Virginia Beach. And if you know much about this area, to get people from the beach down to downtown Norfolk, we were amazed. So that proved to us we had a following, we really tapped into something. As far as growing pains, even at the price point we're at, we've got some holiday specials right now, but it is, when you're dealing especially with restaurants, entertainment, it's a difficult vertical to deal with. If you get in their busy season, they don't need you. If you get in their slow season, they can't pay you. And I remember that way back, dating myself from my Yellow Page days. But I think the people that dealt with this, as I was telling Ray earlier, we have 100% satisfaction. Everybody we've dealt with is either reference testimony or both. So if nothing else for yourselves, please use it. It's free to consumers, and get out and explore. And that's pretty much it. Ray?
You mentioned to me earlier too that you're certainly keeping up with the trends and looking at cutting edge ideas. But one thing along with the craft breweries now, craft cocktails are becoming a thing. You're doing something.
I mean, it's only a few minutes. Do y'all want to see something really funny? Can I show it to them? Does anybody here remember the Twilight Zone?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Once again, this is just mother of invention at the time.
That's where you're at now.
What? Everybody's like, can we be there now? Well, I can transport you to there. All right. What happened was we had Twist Martini, who was a very good client, and they wanted to do it themselves, come up with things about the history of a cocktail. They've got a bartender, Johnny, who wins national competitions. He's a walking encyclopedia of drinks. I mean, I've never seen anything like it in my life. Well, they were going to do some stuff, and I was sitting there with the owner and said, why don't you just let us do something, and let's spoof the Twilight Zone. I don't know how I came up with this.
Kickin' It in the 7x7 is brought to you by the Mambo Room Cultural Dance Center and by McCown Pressure Wash and Painting, home of the work.
Epic story of Sam.
Good internet here, too.
Here and the thunder and all this stuff. It's really seductive
Actually, I was
music
trying to see
for the ears, and I think our audiences are just going to eat it up.
You can use that.
Creating the magic fire in
Yeah,
the Valkyrie and a collapsing temple in Samson and Delilah are two challenges that every designer.
There we go. And everything in these we have done ourselves.
It's time to go on a journey to a place where craft cocktails are not only correctly made, but given a history as well. So join us as we visit the Cocktail Zone.
So we made sure this was a spoof too. There's no advertising or promotion for the establishment in here, so we don't have any issues.
There is a fifth dimension beyond that which is known to most men. It is a dimension as vast as space and as timeless as infinity. It is the middle ground between sweet, sugary beverages and the burning heat of raw ethanol, between science and the Long Island iced tea. This is the dimension of imagination. It is a realm which we call the Cocktail Zone. There was a time in this country when the old-fashioned was made with muddled fruits. A dark and strange time filled with unnaturally colored cherries and scattered piles of white sugar packets. There is a place, however, that has never known such a time. A place of balance. A place of natural sweetness. A place known as the Cocktail Zone.
This is the original gangster of cocktails. It was originally defined by the Balancing Columbia Repository in 1806 as spirit of any kind, sugar, water, bitters. 4 simple ingredients, so that's what we're going to work with today. Starting off with Angostura bitters, the best aromatics, the most popular, most common, very easy to find, and a dash. 4 quick dashes. Next up for the sugar, bar scoop of Demerara sugar, which is rich simple syrup. So we're going to do this as a 2-to-1 syrup. And we use bullet rye. Rye is usually better than bourbon for this, just because there's a nice spice that does shine through all the other stuff that we put in here, and it's highlighted very well. Lastly, water comes from ice. So we fill up our mixing glass all the way with ice. More ice is better than less. And give it a few quick stirs. We're going to do this before we pour it into a glass, usually over an ice sphere or some other really large ice cube. So the point of this is to chill it without over diluting it, which is why you want more ice as opposed to less. Right over our rock. Last touch, a nice garnish. We use an orange twist. Splash right over the surface, right around the rim, drop in the drink. Perfect. That is the old fashioned.
Another drink, crafted to perfection, as it should be, in the cocktail zone.
What the funny thing about those, they just
Well,
took a
that's a
life
wrap
of
on
its
another
own.
episode. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as we did making it. And remember, you can get social with us on Facebook, as well as checking out past episodes and individual destination segments on our web.
So that just turned into something from an idea, but it got like a cult following. We put it up on Facebook. I just threw it up there, and like a couple hours later, it had well over 1,000 views, and we didn't even tell anybody. So we shot 5 of those. We've had a new one coming out. But we're just trying to be creative and get exposure to local businesses in a unique way. For them, they've really benefited because most of them, and I think most people in the room that are in business, you know, you're really good at what it is you do. But unless it's marketing, you're typically not usually really good at that, or you don't have time to do that. And what we're trying to do is give people a piece of the puzzle they can just take and run with. But the value of a package, like a feature-length segment, if we get retail at $29.95, the real world money of that is what we're doing, about $8,000 to $10,000. And to give you an idea, real world, to produce one of these shows, because what Mike and I did on the very first one, we invoiced ourselves without telling each other, and we wanted to see what we would have charged someone to hire us to do what we did. And to make that first show would have been between probably $20,000 and $25,000. That's real world. Well, that may be real world, but that doesn't mean you're going to get anybody to be on the show. So we've got some holiday specials going on. We're trying to get very aggressive, but it's one of those things where the growing pains, like much of you probably deal with, we're just spread thin. It's myself, Mike, and sometimes a third person. I own a successful media and production firm here and have clients like Taylor's Do-It Centers and stuff. That's my real job. This was an idea that blew up. And it's exciting. It's led to some other things I can't discuss right now. But the fact that now Channel 3 saw the benefit and has partnered with us to be part of Coast Live, not a paying partner, but actually we've partnered with them, is very flattering to us. So that's pretty much it. So hopefully if nothing else as consumers, please use it. I think you'll enjoy it. And you'll find out about some cocktails that are pretty funny too.
Well, I had one question for
Yeah,
you,
sure.
and you may have covered it, sorry if I missed it. Do you guys run paid Facebook or YouTube advertising to those videos locally? Or
No,
as a
right
service?
now, and I hate to say it, I guess in some ways, everything we've done on social media, I've just been doing myself.
Okay.
We don't have budgets to do paid stuff. I will do some out of my own pocket. I'm very selective in that, and some would say we're pretty good at it, but it'll be if there's a big announcement, getting ready to do a big press release, which I'll push out and things like that. Most of it, believe it or not, has been people sharing. The Facebook page is maybe, I don't know, several months old. We're I think up to 3,500 people. Here's the thing. The beauty about this is, and I tell people this every time, if I'm hit by a truck tomorrow, which I really hope doesn't happen, but if I do, they got what they paid for. And if I can share this one issue that we had at the beginning, everybody thought we were trying to sell a TV show. And I'm just going to be honest with you, nothing against my TV friends, people in the industry, nobody wanted to talk to us. And the fact of the matter is, especially with millennials, I've had old TVs in my house trying to give away to like a kid I'm almost like an uncle to. He laughed at me. He goes, what am I going to do with that? Everything he does is off YouTube or streaming. So we had a real issue. And I was getting really frustrated. I'm like, I thought this was a great idea, but this is just tapping me out right now. And by dumb luck, one day, I got so frustrated with a friend that says, no, we're not selling a TV show. We're selling you a piece you can use in your promotion and marketing, and for whatever reason, I said license free. I don't know why it is. And that just got the attention. And that was the thing, and I immediately called my cook. It's like, we got to tell people it's license free. Make sure you. And that flipped everything, then they understood. It's like, but the flip side of that was then, it was the old like, okay, so you're gonna do all this at a really good price and you're gonna do all this for free, and it was a typical like, okay, what, too good to be true, it usually is. So we had to battle that. But then we started getting content, we started getting the comments, we started getting the ratings, and I'm pleased to say, I didn't want to jinx it, but now Larry Bonko from the paper, who still writes some, I think once or twice a year about television, reached out to me out of the blue and come to find out we're his son's favorite television show. And we're finding out more and more every day. I don't even think we realize the reach we're having. I'm going in for meetings, and they're like, oh yeah, we've heard about your show, can you? So I think it's one of those things where we're not too caught up in those things, we're just trying to make this thing go, but I don't even think we realize that the fan base that we're having is growing every day. But what we really could use is more people feet on the street. That's why media companies have a sales force. I was part of successful ones back in the day. But because of the price point we're at, it's very difficult. I mean, I don't want to sound braggart, but for what Mike and I are splitting when we do this is a joke, honestly. But you have to listen to what the market will bear. And we hope that over time, through volume, through sponsorships, we've had some, View Do It was at the very beginning, but Abacab has been very good to us, and now they want to come back. McCown Pressure Washing and Painting want to get involved. He's a friend and client and loves what we're doing. So we've had some great help that have enabled us to do. We just did, probably my favorite spot was on this year's Oceana Naval Air Show. I pulled some strings from people and I said, look, I don't want to cover the air show. It's always done. The media does a great job. We don't really need to see more of that. I grew up the son of military parents, and my father was a pilot who eventually was the HMX-1XO, which is the presidential lift squadron. Like when President Trump leaves the White House lawn, that was my father for Carter, Nixon, Ford. So I have an affinity for the military and pilots. So I said, I want to show what it takes behind the scenes to make the show happen. Well, fortunately for me, they loved it, and I just had a call from the former commanding officer, Lou Shager, who I didn't even know had seen it. And it was just a very special message, and he thanked me for what we did to show that side of it. We got access to the F-18 demo team, which is pretty cool. The guy that actually runs it during the event, we were riding around with him and seeing what all goes on. And then we got to interview a Gold Star family and a director, and I didn't even know how the Gold Star family works. I think we even had military people thinking you had to be a family member killed in action. Well, you don't. This one family, their 20-year-old son was killed just driving on his way to the base. I learned something. And we got a lot of kudos for that, so for that, me, it was pretty emotional. But because of that sponsorship we had, it allowed us to do a piece like that. There was more kind of human interest in that, so it was good stuff. But anything else? And I'd rather answer your questions and talk about me in this, to be honest with you. So.
For the $3,000, what's your workflow for production?
Well, that's a great question. Here's real world. We are typically in a place on average, and we need to cut it down. We're probably like at a restaurant, 6 to 7 to sometimes 8 hours. But it's our fault because we're just over the top on wanting stuff to be good, and we're going to have to trim that back some. But that's average. But then for every hour of shooting, we're probably editing after the fact 2 on top of that. But that's on average. We probably should be more in the range for the quality of work we do, probably 4 to 5, and that's what we're working on right now.
What are you shooting on?
What's that?
What camera are you shooting on?
Multiple cameras, everything from, well, I call it the gyro spear. We've got the ones now in gimbals. Mike takes care of that. That's really his expertise. He had 20 years in broadcast TV. He's won Emmys, and so he.
Mike who?
Mike Martini. Yeah.
Well, there's probably like 30 people in this room, and for me, I'm the first time I heard about the website. And actually, once in a while, we look online, all the Hampton Roads, where to go and eat. We didn't run into your website at all. So maybe you should do some advertising. I don't know if anybody else.
That's down the road for SEO. And I actually was in that business for a time. We were very good at it. I had one of the top ranked guys in the country. And that's a great question too. I just got out of it because it's one of those things, it's not something that clients can touch, feel, smell. And for the time it takes to do it, what we're trying to do is get a grassroots through social media and things like that. We hope at some time we can be, when people are coming to the area and we've tried to engage the city about this, that we will come up. But that, because someone used to do it, that takes a tremendous amount of work on the back end. And the honest answer is, we just don't have the time or money right now to put to it.
But I mean, are you looking for more clients? Because if you have like 5,000 followers on Facebook, that's not much, because you probably get not even 1%.
But remember, we're not selling that. That's not, if we have one, that's a benefit to the client.
True, but see, if you had 50,000 clients or 100,000 clients, then more people are going to come to you to do more videos.
Sure, that's
what
we're going through right now.
You have to advertise your website so people will give you the jobs.
We do it, but you have to remember, you know, and I have no problem saying this because I'm on the flip side selling people for what I do. It takes time and money, and as I said once before, we only have so much.
Correct.
That's why we're struggling to try to get sponsors to allow us to do those things. You know, I do that for a living. I know it well. But you have to understand, that's why I'm selling it the way that I am. Because if none of that stuff existed, none of it, the end client, the recipient, got exactly what they paid for. A top-notch, award-winning promotional piece for them to use in their current or future advertising. All this other stuff, to be honest, it's window dressing. And it's something that I did selfishly because I felt it was needed. But if that part of the business went away, the end recipient, the client we worked with, got exactly what they paid for. Mm-hmm. But your point's well taken, and that's kind of the thing in between. You know, if we could charge what we should be getting, we could put more resources to that. But it's
chicken and egg.
Chicken and egg, you're exactly right. And you're dead on what you're saying. I'm not disagreeing. It's just, we all go through.
A lot of these restaurants don't know how to market themselves. They don't have the budget. Actually, they have less than you do probably. They definitely don't know.
We picked the worst vertical to do this in, and I said from somebody, I'm dating myself back in the elevated days, they were the most popular heading in a phone book, so you knew a restaurant had to be in there. But even dealing with them then, you're absolutely right. And plus, there's uncertainty. You know, a lot of people, when they dealt with creative people, whether it's a website, whether it's a video, I get more business every week because, yeah, I gave this guy Kevin a deposit, now I can't get up on. Yeah, we got a website that's half done. So because I'm in the business, we also fight that too. And people are hesitant, especially if it sounds too good to be true. Like, they still can't believe that we'll promote their business. That's the kicker. But I agree with everything you're saying. It's a good point. Yeah.
What sort of competition do you find yourself getting from Cox, who can basically get them on the air and a spot for $3,000?
Well, we own the time. That's another thing. That's probably to go with your question. I bought that time. We own those 30 minutes. I can do anything I want in that 30 minutes. So we had to make commitments to that. So the time we have on the CW with WGNT 27, that 8:30 time spot, I have bought that airtime. I control that. Does that make sense?
Well, what I'm saying is, for about $3,000, Cox would go out and shoot you a spot and put it on the air throughout their whole broadcast schedule. I mean, not that.
Cox has something like Untapped, and I believe they charge like $8,400 for a package. See, people don't do what we do. Media companies, they don't. A radio station doesn't really care about selling you radio airtime. Or newspaper dudes, they all want to sell you their digital product. I know, I came from the world. That's what they all want to sell you. So as far as Cox and things like that, my comeback would be, once again, I'm not selling you being on TV. I'm giving you a piece to use, and we're doing this for free. Cox, on the other hand, is selling you that you're on TV. First thing I would say is, well, less than half the market gets Cox. We're on the CW, so no matter who your provider is, you can watch it. Not that I compete with them. But they're selling it, you're going to be on show, and you're getting all this stuff, and we're not doing that. Once again, they're charging, I think, $7 a month, $84 maybe, whatever. We're charging under $3,000 promotional piece to go and use whatever you want, and then we're going to do all this other stuff for free. So it's not really apples to apples, if that helps. But I haven't run into competition from anybody because, for instance, the Hampton Roads show, the cooking segment, a lot of people like them. You have to pay X amount, I know how much it is, but you have to take all your wares and you have to go down there, okay? And then you don't get it, I mean, it's on their website and everything. What we're saying is, for the same money, or sometimes less, we'll come in your place of business and do it.
So you're basically selling a production.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
And then they have to go out and permeate it to their audience. They got to get it on their website. They got to say if they want to go down to Cox or 13 or 10.
They can
and
do
say,
whatever they want with
I
it,
want to
sure.
buy some airtime
That's right.
and run this. Now, are you, if you're giving them a 2 to 3 minute piece,
No, they're longer than that.
well, if you're giving them longer than a 30 or a 60, how do they fit that into a hole that they can buy time with for?
Okay, that's a great
Or do
question.
you cut them that, do you cut them a 30 or 60?
Williamsburg Antique Mall was a perfect example. I've never even heard of a place until I went there, and I highly recommend it.
What was it again?
Williamsburg Antique Mall. That was probably the most fun piece. I bought more stuff. I got lost in this place, it's so big. And you won't know it's there unless you're going, but it's, I forget which episode it's on, but of course you can just go to Destinations, Williamsburg, and watch it. But here's the cool thing. When we went up there, they had heard of me before, and they came in, and they just wanted promotional pieces for it. I said, I think I got a better way. And this made